Welcome to the Friday Fraudster podcast. Join them as they discuss sad, funny, and sometimes disturbing fraud stories. Be sure to catch past episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or go to www.fridayfraudster.com and grab some CPE while you're there.
Hey, welcome everyone to episode number 115 of the Friday Fraudster. Today we're talking about buried benefits. Buried benefits. Now I know what you're thinking. I'm here all alone and there's no one with me. Well, I have another special guest again today, but before we get to the special guest, I want to talk to you guys about something. I want to invite you to one of the best podcasts for auditors out there. It's called Audit Bites, and well, it's one of the best because it's mine. But last week's episode was very interesting. We talked about imposter syndrome for auditors, and I really think that everyone should check it out. If you think about the nature of our job, oftentimes we do feel like frauds when we're working with clients. Now, the other thing I want to do is invite you to the next 3 episodes. You see, we have this thing planned out to the end of the year, so stick with me here. We run it January through June, and then I take a month or so off, and then I come back around August until the end of the year. So the next episode is happening September 26th, episode 45. It is, are you curious enough to make a difference? What we're talking about is the power of curiosity for internal auditors. If you didn't know, that is our superpower, friends. On October the 10th, episode 46 is Stop Auditing After the Fact. We're going to talk about the benefits of being proactive in the work that we do. And now, October 24th, this is by far one of my favorite episodes. You guys are going to love it. Board governance gone wrong. We're going to talk about when a board of directors oversteps its bounds and when it does things that it should not do, which hinders an organization from achieving its goals and objectives. Now, while I have you here, I want to give a special shout out to the Phoenix chapter, Phoenix, Arizona. Listen, if you have not subscribed to their LinkedIn page, go subscribe to it. They produce some good content, but on Fridays, they do something real special. They do a poll every Friday, and this Friday's poll was really interesting. Here it is right here. It says, what is the last internal audit podcast you listened to or watched? First answer is Trent Russell's The Audit Podcast. If you have not subscribed to his podcast, please subscribe. He does an episode every week. I'm not that big and bold with Audit Bites. I do it every other week. Now, the Friday Fraudster is weekly, but the next choice is Barry's Friday Fraudster. So if you really like this, by the way, you can go over there after you watch this episode, and that way you won't be lying when you say that my podcast is the last one that you listen to. Or the IIA's All Things IA. And then the other choice is other. If there's some other audit-related podcast that you listen to. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you all to do. Go over there and drop Audit Bites in the comments. So, my grandmother used to say, well, if you really want something, you should ask for it, right? Which leads me to my final point before I bring on this week's special guest. Go over to my YouTube channel. Everything is streaming from there as well. You can see Audit Bites and the Friday Fraudster. And by the way, we have some surprises coming in about a month to that YouTube channel. There'll be very short videos, anywhere from 1 minute to about 10 minutes, that are just lessons for internal auditors. It won't be all me talking. So for those of you who don't like this face, you won't have to see me all the time. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop all of those links I just mentioned for you at the end of the show. By golly, I don't want you leaving right now and then getting caught and sucked down a rabbit hole and never coming back and missing today's episode. You would miss out on a treat. Now, granted, you could catch the replay, but why not do it live here with us? Because we do go to the audience and have a lot of interaction. Because to me, this is a place for learning, laughing, commensurating, communicating with audit and compliance professionals. Now, with all that said, I'm out of breath. So I am going to bring on this week's special guest, and you've seen her before. Christine.
Surprise! I don't know how special I am, but I'll take it.
Now, how's that for an opening for a podcast?
I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
Here's what's funny. I don't practice it. I just do it. Like, I just do
Kind
it.
of like what I do for my kickoff meetings and audit. Just go with it.
You don't anticipate what they're saying, what they're going to say or do?
No, I think we do I think our team does a pretty well job of preparing prior ahead of time. And normally it's just telling them what we're doing and stuff. So they usually don't have a whole lot of questions. They might actually bring up stuff that we didn't think about, areas that they want us to look at. So
Okay.
it's good to be
Awesome.
fluid.
All right. So before we get started, let's go to our audience. My friend Heather Perry is here. Heather, how long have I known you? It's been a very long time. Heather, I hope everything is well with you. Now, Michael Cheney is here. Listen, this dude, Michael, I hadn't even met you in person, dude, but I want to thank you for your support. This dude supports me in ways that I've never asked for anything from him, but he shares my content with his network all the time. And I'm guessing he does it because it's good and he likes it. So I just want to say thank you to you because you don't have to do that. And it's great that you do. And I really appreciate it. And Bonita, so listen, you guys, this past week, I actually met Bonita in person for the very first time. So, and we had a good time. I love B. She's my sister from another mister. No, B, not buried, not a play on my last name. She said buried benefits. And Stephanie says, we are with you. At least I'm assuming this is Stephanie. Let me look at, yeah, that's Stephanie. I'm assuming she's with me in Audit Bites is one of the best podcasts around. Now, my man, Phil Davis, listen, if you are looking for a job and you need someone to help you prepare for your interview, as far as getting your resume straight, preparing you on what to say in the interview, call my man, Phil. He is one of the best out there at it. And Phil, check this out. I'm going to be in your area in October. So I'm going to text you later and we'll see if we can hook up while I'm in your neighborhood. Okay. So, man, this is getting long today.
It's going to be a good
Rima is here
episode.
again. Say again.
It's going to be a good episode.
Oh, it really is going to be a good episode. Rima is here again. Hello, my friend. How are you? And Latanya is here. I'm tired now. I am tired now.
It'll work out.
There's one other thing that I want to say. If you want to guest host with me, let me know and we'll put you in the rotation as well. Because now we have Christine and Joe and Kelly will come back from time to time. We have Thomas, Galena, and we haven't seen Mark Anderson in a while. I need to check on him to see how he's doing anyway. But if you want to be in the rotation, I think it's good. I think it helps us with our communication skills, our presentation skills, and you get to put up with me for about an hour. I don't know if that's a benefit though, right?
No, I enjoy being on the podcast. It helps you with your research skills. I've definitely been able to hone up on mine. And who doesn't like to know what you're going to talk about on Friday before the rest of everybody else?
All right, so everybody, let me just point out, she didn't say I enjoy spending Friday afternoon with you. She said I enjoy
I love talking fraud. You can ask my husband. I could talk about it all day.
Now, Stephanie said that would be a blast. All right, Stephanie, you are on the list now. You are on the list. Now, this is who I'm waiting for to come on. My good friend, Heather Perry. Heather might be a little camera shy, though, and I may have just nudged her a little bit. Oh, I've even had Bonita on before. That's right. Yeah, Bonita has been here before, too.
I don't think I saw that episode.
Yeah, you missed a good one. So, Christine, let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel like there's just not enough of you to go around? Like you need a body double or twin, somebody else that can work and get paid on your behalf with you?
Considering this week is incorporated with 4 soccer games, 2 volleyball games, a baseball game, while I'm studying for my Part 2 CIA and working full time. Yes, I would take a body double any day.
So let me ask the audience, are you so swamped sometimes that you feel like you just need another person, another you, a twin, as it were, or maybe just a sibling who looked like you that could fill in for you at some of those places that you need help? So I'll tell you, I definitely wish there was another Robert Berry. Now, the world doesn't want one, but I wish that there was one. You got to think about this. Every week, there's the Friday Fraudster podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Every other week, there's Audit Bites. Then I have training. I just came back from the North Carolina CPA Society doing some sessions there. Pretty soon, I'm going to Nashville CPA Society. I'm waiting for a few IIA chapters to call me back. We're negotiating with a few. So it's busy. And on top of that, I have clients that I perform internal audit, co-sourcing, outsourcing, and or Sarbanes-Oxley for.
So you're saying you need an East Coast Rob and a West Coast Rob.
Ooh, I like that. And then maybe a Midwest too.
That would work.
Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I like that. Now, Stephanie says mom life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now Heather says she wished she had a clone sometimes. Speaking of clones, has anybody, what's the movie? Oh man, Black something Black. It was a movie that came out a while back. Orphan Black. That was the name of the movie. I meant the show. If you've never seen that show, you need to go watch it. Speaking of clones, that show was freaking awesome until about season 4. I won't give it away.
I'm thinking of the Michael Keaton movie Multiplicity.
That one too. Yep. That's an older one though.
It's a good movie though.
Well, at this point, Orphan Black is probably old. Oh, too. Now, Michael says he definitely wish he had a twin. I don't want the evil twin. Oh, now this is just wrong. Stephanie wants the twin to do all the cleaning. Wait, let me make sure that this is Stephanie. Yeah, I should have known. She said she wants the twin to do all the cleaning. That is hilarious. Okay. So here's the question. So Christine, you kind of named off some of the mom duties, but what would you make the twin do?
Well, I'm with Stephanie. I'd probably make them do all the cleaning. My husband does the laundry. My husband does the cooking. I like seeing my kids playing their sports. I'd probably have them do all my studying. That takes up a lot of time.
It does.
Work a second job, bring in some more money.
Oh, there you go. Work a second job and bring in more money.
There you go.
Now, Heather says train people to do, the stuff that the way that she wants it done, I guess, huh? I think you're on to something though, Christine. Second job.
Yeah.
That would be nice. Huh. So let's talk about our guy for today then. Beginning in the mid-1960s, Napoleon Gonzalez, now 86, took on the identity of his brother, Guillermo Gonzalez, who died as an infant in 1939. So at least he waited a few years, right? Like 20 years or so.
When he was old enough to figure it out, how to do it.
Aha. Now, over the years, Gonzalez obtained multiple passports in his brother's name. The most recent passport he got was in 2017, and he used it to travel to Canada in 2018.
I want to know why he needed a passport outside of his name. I couldn't find that. Like, if everything was kosher with your background, why didn't you just get a passport yourself?
That's what I was wondering. And I did some digging, and unfortunately, this time I could not find anything. Now, in
I think I might have found out why, though.
Okay.
But I'm going to wait, because this is what I kind of said. I found something, and you're like, don't tell me yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a surprise to me. So in 1981, he applied for a Social Security number in his dead brother's name and filed an application for Social Security retirement benefits in his own name in 1999, and then in his brother's name in 2001. So for those of you in other countries, Social Security is just government benefits. When you reach a certain age, you get government benefits. So that's what Social Security is.
But how much was he getting? So for those that don't know, your Social Security, how much you get, it depends on how much you were making through your adult life, how much they were taking out, because they take the money out from your paychecks. So unless he was holding a job under his brother's name, because his brother died as a kid.
So that was the part I couldn't figure out.
Like, how is, like, I mean, maybe it's only a few hundred. Well, I guess like my grandmother, she got Social Security. She stopped working after she had my dad. So that was back in 57. And my dad always said that her Social Security checks were just enough to cover her insulin because she was diabetic. So, I mean, that's still probably $600 a month.
Well, and I know you also get other benefits like health benefits, but that's not cash in hand.
No.
So that is what I was trying to figure out. Did he work under his brother's name at a certain point in time? And then that's why he claimed those benefits. Now, he collected retirement benefits under both identities until March of 2020, when investigators requested the suspension of his benefits. You want to know what he did next? He mailed a letter to the Social Security Administration, and he signed the name of his dead brother, and he asked them for an explanation. He asked them, why did you suspend my Social Security? And in the letter, he requested a prompt reply because it was during COVID, and he said he was locked down in his apartment, unable to drive, and dependent on neighbors to obtain food and other items for him.
If he would have just left it alone.
If he would have just left it alone.
Although it makes me wonder, because I'm sure you're going to tell him how he actually ended up getting caught.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't just the letter.
Yeah, so he actually got ID cards from the state of Maine in both his name and his brother's name. Yeah. So let's tell everyone. You know what? Here's what I want you to do. I want everybody to guess how he got caught. I want you to guess how he got caught, and the winning guest will guess. The winning guest will get a copy of my book, Ask Better Questions, Get Better Answers, Perform Better Audits. Now, the last time I did a giveaway, I think Stephanie won.
I don't remember.
But the person with the first person to guess how he got caught wins a copy of my book, Ask Better Questions, Get Better Answers, Perform Better Audits. So, Christine, you know how he got caught, right?
Yes.
Okay, the guesses are coming in. Now, Rima actually says, I just want to be like the Fifth Element to download all the studying and then I'll do the cleaning. It's a project I can accomplish in a day and see the results. Now, that is funny. For those of you who've not seen The Fifth Element, that was a good movie. That was who? Bruce Willis and
I forgot her name, but it's good.
yeah, wasn't Chris Tucker in there too? And
Yes.
yeah, a few other people. Now, Heather says someone found the original birth certificates. Nah. Deborah says fingerprint. Now, that would be an easy answer, and I don't make things easy around here, Deborah, so nah.
It's close.
Now, somebody says he got caught because he got a little too careless. Yeah, I mean, that goes without saying, but exactly how? Someone else says, oh, okay, Stephanie's got my book. She was the one who won the book last time. She's studying for CAMS.
Can I give a hint?
Let's think about this. You know what?
Give her a hint. Your book.
I'm curious.
It's your book.
Well, I don't care. I mean, I've got plenty of the books. Oh yeah, yeah. Yep. Thank you, Heather. He used the wrong name when talking with the auditors. That's what Michael says. You know what? That would have been cool because they did launch an investigation of his activities. That would have been funny. That would have been really, really funny. Juma says, Robert, you're actually here. Yes, Juma, I'm here. I talked to Juma earlier today. And so today I'm really sick. I'm under the weather. And Juma was like, are you going to do your show? I'm like, yeah, rain or shine. I'm going to be here to do the show. You know, nothing ibuprofen can't temporarily handle. Now. Let's see who this is here. Peter says face print. Peter, you're absolutely correct. Heather says facial recognition, but Peter beat you to it. So yeah. So let me see. I think I lost my place in my notes. Okay, so here's what happened. There was facial recognition technology used by the Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles. And they were using it to ensure that, well, one person didn't have multiple credentials or credentials under someone else's name. And so he came in to update his information. And there you go. He got caught by facial recognition software.
And I think they would, because right away I'm reading that and I'm going, okay, so what about twins? Like your twins that look the same and everything else. And they sit there and they talk about, yes, we do have that, everything else. His came down to it being like, they look a lot alike. Their addresses are exactly the same. Like they didn't pass all the good check marks that they do for their list of discovery, but I wonder how many hits they get.
That's yeah. Now, wait a minute. You said that you had a surprise in this, something that I didn't know. So what is the surprise?
If you think this is his first scheme. It has to do with a dead body. What if I told you he bought a dead body to do an insurance claim on himself and pretended to be his brother to get the $700,000?
Wait, $700,000?
Yes. So the United States charged him because they are specifically leaving. I've got it. Details about man faking his own death excluded in his fraud trial.
Whoa. Okay, wait. Because, okay, I saw in the Department of Justice information that he admitted to faking his own death under his own identity, and then he continued to use his brother's identity. But you're saying he got a dead body and used that to pretend to be him.
Correct. So he purchased the body from a guy who was in a car accident. Like it was a car accident. The guy died. He bought the body for like $1,700. He had his sister help him. So she identified the body. Then essentially what happened was he came in as his brother to claim the $700,000 insurance policy. And when he had to go in front of the judge or something like that, he was telling the judge, no, these people are going to come saying that they're his wife, his children, but he wasn't married. He didn't have any kids. Like, I'm the sole person. The guy does have a wife and kids. So the judge essentially told the insurance company, you might want to look into this a little bit further because this just doesn't seem right. And he got caught for an insurance fraud scheme.
So
Because then
where
they
did the
dug up his body. They dug up his body. They did like DNA testing and found out it was this other guy and not him.
Wait, so he had a $700,000 insurance policy on himself.
Yeah.
So he faked his own death, collected the money, and I guess spent it on his wife and kids.
Like he was, I don't know if he was trying to cut his wife out. I'm gonna join because I'm on my phone. So because for some reason my computer camera doesn't want to work. So I'll hop back into, oh, you know what? I am not thinking. I'll put it in the chat.
So somebody says, what? Oh, wow. And then somebody else said misuse of a corpse. Yeah. And I think that's a crime too, I believe. In most states, I believe that's a crime. And yeah, exactly. That's why dental records may be used to verify a corpse. Okay. I thought I had some shocking and surprising information. You got me.
He did this back in the early 1980s because the New York Daily News actually published an article on it. So the article that they had is what they were trying to bring into this new fraud that he's doing. But the article alleged that Gonzalez had paid somebody $7,000 for Mr. Diaz's body, dressed him in his military uniform, so Gonzalez's uniform, complete with his ribbons, medals, and then arranged to have his body buried in a national cemetery. He had the tomb inscribed with his name on it. Then he assumed the identity of his brother. Yeah.
Wow.
And then he moved. He moved so nobody would know. He tried to pretend he died.
Yeah. Principle of law, show the body, is valid. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so gee whiz, what I'm about to say pales in comparison to that, but how many of you would believe that this isn't the first time he's done it, nor is this the first time that the Social Security Administration flagged it? They just didn't do anything the first time. Apparently his benefits were previously investigated in 2010 for fraud, but then they were upheld. So the Social Security Administration did an investigation in 2010 and let him keep his benefits.
I think the thing that just gets me is he's out. I don't think he had to post bond or anything because of his age.
Oh, we'll get to that. Now, let me cheat and see who this is. Oh, this is Peter. Peter says, ergo caveat sum. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with that, I think loosely, what does that mean? Loosely translated, I think it means pretend to understand or something like that. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I believe. Now, I could be wrong. I still have the other one showing. Sorry, didn't put that up.
Does it mean
trust but verify? Someone says no body, no death. Bonita says, cool, I like audit bites. I do too, Bonita. That's why I do it. All right.
I'm just sitting here thinking, like, first of all, who do you go to buy a dead body? And number two, how do you go about asking for it? Not that I want to know, but I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. Who in the world do you go to that? Hold on 1 second, Christine.
Somebody at your door.
Yeah, I'm good. I had to check for a minute there. Okay.
Therefore, beware the outcome.
Virgo, therefore, caveat, beware, sum equals the outcome. Okay, beware of the outcome. Therefore, beware of the outcome. I knew it was something like that. So yeah, this one is crazy. Yeah, Michael says asking to buy a dead body should have been a red flag. Here's what I wonder. Where was his wife during all of this?
I gave you the case text, the thing that I didn't read it all. It's pretty long. I don't know. And I couldn't even tell, or I might have just skimmed over it. I couldn't see if he had to serve any time for it.
Oh, okay. So let's talk about that for one moment. His attorney is saying that he's going to try and, get him out of it. So his attorney says that he doesn't think that the government proved all of the elements of the multiple counts against his client. He also questioned the wisdom of the imposition of a lengthy prison sentence for his client at his advanced age. Now, his lawyer also went on to say that it was ironic that it would cost more for his client to be in prison than the actual cost of the dual benefits he received from the government. So that makes me think that the cost of his Social Security fraud wasn't that high. However, the $700,000 insurance policy sure is pretty high, right?
Right. And I think that was how he got caught. They never ended up paying it out. But still, like, this is the kind of stuff that just, it makes me shake my head. It's like, oh, it's gonna cost more. He's too old. Like, do we really need to do this? Yes. Please. Come on. Can we just not just make him sit for 6 months? I don't care.
Something.
You have to, it's no different. I just kind of sometimes I cringe at this. It would be no different than an organization that has in their policies and their procedures, everything else, if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. And then they don't follow through with the repercussions when people make bad decisions.
Well, and I think when you look at this one too, as I get serious for just one moment, this is habitual.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, this started in the 1940s. Then it still occurred in 2008, 2010, 2017, and 18, and this was habitual where he received multiple passports, multiple pieces of documentation. He actually procured a dead body and faked his own death for insurance fraud. So there's passport fraud, there's insurance fraud, there's
mail fraud, social security fraud.
Yeah.
Like it's not, yeah. Like passport fraud, that's a federal offense.
Right?
Yeah. And I like reading more into it and stuff like that. Like he gets into like, oh, well, what did he serve? In the Air Force. The Air Force Office of Special Investigations told me to use his identity. So I could do the special operations. Like I don't know if he's just buying into his lie.
So I forgot about that part. Okay, so listen, guys, listen. He claims that he took on the identity of his deceased brother at the direction of the Air Force's Office of Special Investigations, and that he was legally allowed to use both identities. He claims that he was a part of some special force or some special outfit where they allowed him to take on his dead brother's identity in the Air Force.
I don't know. All it's making me sit here and think is, oh, everybody that's out there doing scams and everything else, just hold out to your 85. Then you don't have to really worry about it.
Now, Peter says policies and procedures are a part of executive governance. Exactly. The outcomes must be made clear to manage internally.
And consistently. That's the other thing. It's the consistency part. I don't think of people. I mean, I don't want to say people in general, but even with our government, consistently applying this. I mean, I'm gonna get off my soapbox before I get too deep into it, but consistently applying stuff across the board.
Yeah.
I mean, the government doesn't get in trouble for it, but companies will get in trouble for it because you let this person get away with it, or you only gave them a 3-day suspension while this person lost their job. All right, well, what are the two differences between these two people? Because you're going to get yourself in, you're going to dig yourself a hole you can't get out of.
Yeah. So for those who are unaware, the federal sentencing guidelines determines how you're going to be sentenced when the crimes occur. And one of the things that they have as a stipulation is you must have equal punishment for similar grievances or situations in your organization. Your compliance function, must have similar punishments for the same crime. So you can't slap the CEO on the wrist for stealing, but then throw somebody else in jail for life. Now, Stephanie says, oh, stolen valor too. Stephanie, I think he actually was in the military. So I don't think it was stolen. So here's the deal. I tried to find out. And from what I can tell, I can't confirm or deny if he was actually in the military. But I think he actually was in the military.
I think they couldn't validate if he was legally allowed to use both identities.
Oh, now I highly doubted if that was true too. But yeah, it was weird. And then and now Bob says, but then he killed himself off.
I know.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Okay, now wait, who is this? Is Peter again? Yeah. Peter says, thank you to Christine. Consistency is essential. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So now, let's just recap.
What else do you have?
That's all I have. But let's recap for me because man, you got me on this one. You shocked me. So the gentleman stole his deceased brother's identity, used it to get a bunch of different passports and a lot of different documentation. Also used it to claim Social Security benefits. However, he also faked his own death and got a body from somebody, the morgue, who knows, the mob, who knows, and cashed in a $700,000 insurance policy.
He tried.
Oh, he tried. Oh, he didn't get it. Okay.
He didn't get it.
Okay. God.
I mean, whoever sold him the body got money and a free burial, I guess. I don't know.
You blew my mind today. I've never.
I will take that as my accomplishment for the day then.
My mind is blown. This is the wildest one I think I've seen,
That's why I thought you chose it, because I'm like, there doesn't seem a whole lot. And I came across this. I'm like, oh, this is why Rob chose this one.
Well, I chose it for the faking the death. I knew that. I just didn't know about the body. And then the stolen identity and the Social Security. I had no idea about the insurance policy and the dead body and no idea. And I thought I had done thorough research too.
Yeah, I double checked it. All the names in the case text match his name, his brother's name.
Yeah, I'm with this. He's a few colors short of a rainbow. Yeah. Jeez. That is insane. All right, Peter, good to see you. Peter says, thank you. Christine and Rob. Okay, so now. While I have everyone here, let me just go back. And again, I want to invite you to the next 3 episodes of Audit Bites on September 26th, episode 45. Are you curious enough to make a difference? The power of curiosity. October the 10th, stop auditing after the fact. How we need to be proactive in our internal audits. And October 24th, board governance gone wrong. Now, here's the deal. I just dropped a link into the chat where you can go and find the Audit Bites podcast. It is on my website, auditbytes.com, or you can go to your favorite podcasting platform, Apple, Spotify, any of those, and that's where you can find it. The second shout out that I wanted to give again is to the Phoenix chapter. As I told you all, every Friday they do a poll. This Friday's poll is, what is the last internal audit podcast you just listened to? Well, you all just listened to Friday Fraudster, and that is one of the polling answers. So why don't you go over there and tell them that you just listened to the Friday Fraudster? I just dropped that link into the chat as well. If you are so inclined, you can drop in there that one of your favorite podcasts is Audit Bites. You can do that for me too. And the last thing I want you to do, very last thing I want you to do, why don't you just go to my YouTube channel? Just go ahead to it and just subscribe. I just dropped that link into the chat as well. So, Christine, what else?
Like just in general?
Yeah, anything else? Any parting words?
Really good documentary my husband and I just watched. It's called BS High. It's the documentary about that fake high school football team. Have you heard of and how they got caught because ESPN streamed a game that they were on and they're not a real high school? Careful though. You are really going to dislike this guy. Like you're going to sit here and think there's something off in his head.
Wait, what's the name of it again?
BS High. And it's just kind of ironic because the name of the school is Bishop Sycamore. So it's Bishop Sycamore High School.
There we go.
And then so they shorten it to BS High. So I would go ahead and say that. And that's it. I don't consult. I love being on your show. Wish me luck. I'm taking my part 2 tomorrow.
Oh, you'll do fine. You're going to pass it.
I'm feeling good. A lot better than what I did for part 3. So I'm doing mine backwards. I did the harder one first. So, so maybe, hopefully by the end of this year, I'll finally get that after waiting like 6 years.
Awesome.
With all intentions.
You should have had a clone to take the test for you. I mean,
I should have. But then that would have been against the ethical standards that we're signing.
Oh, Stephanie says good luck. I think that's Stephanie. Let me.
It's Peter. Thank you, Peter.
Peter, thank you, Peter. All right. So we'll see you guys next week for another exciting episode. I actually do have these planned out too for the next couple of months, so I know what's coming up. So yeah, I'm definitely going to reach out to a few people, Heather and Stephanie, to see if you all want to be a guest. Michael says good luck on your exam too.
Well, and Bob said, yeah, third's the toughie. I passed it finally on my 3rd try. Keep in mind, I do not have an IT background. I mean, I know enough of IT, but I don't do IT audits. But no, the second one, I'm like going through. I'm like, I know half this stuff already.
Yeah, the IT portion, I took it so long ago. There were 4 parts, and I got opted out of one because I'm a CPA, but then I'm also a CISA. So I was like, Well,
now if I would have done my CPA, I would have only had to have taken 1 exam.
Really?
Now they have it where if you've got your CPA, there's a couple other ones, the designations that you have. One might be your CRMA, that you only have to take 1 exam to get your CIA. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, all right. We'll see you guys next week.